to the floor to talk about how the president's economic policies are failing to serve the lower and middle-income Americans he claims are his priority. The president talks about wanting to give American families, quote, a little more breathing room, end quote. But his big government, big spending policies are taking away Americans' breathing room. His cash-strapped families struggling with the effects of the president's historic inflation crisis can attest. Well, today, Mr. President, I want to talk about another set of the president's policies that aren't serving Americans, and that's the president's energy policies. Since the day he took office, President Biden has pursued an agenda that is hostile to conventional sources of energy, namely oil and natural gas. He set the tone on his very first day in office when he canceled the Keystone XL pipeline, an environmentally responsible pipeline project that was already underway and that was to be paired with $1.7 billion in private investment in renewable energy to fully offset its operating emissions. He also almost immediately froze new oil and gas leases on federal land, sending a clear signal to oil and gas producers that his administration would be reluctant to work with them to increase American energy production. And he's continued along the same lines ever since, from raising taxes on conventional energy to proposing a rule that would effectively mandate that automakers only make electric vehicles beginning in the near future. The president's policies have targeted conventional energy. In March, the president announced that he would close off a substantial part of the Arctic to oil and gas development. And in the same week, his Environmental Protection Agency finalized a rule, its so-called Good Neighbor Rule, that threatens to close a number of fossil-fueled power plants. So why is all this a problem, Mr. President? After all, members of both parties support alternative energy technologies. Why are the president's efforts to shut down conventional energy production a problem? Well, Mr. President, the president's attacks on conventional energy are a problem because conventional energy still plays an essential role in providing a steady, reliable energy supply to American consumers. No matter how much the White House might wish it weren't the case, the technology to fully transition the United States to clean energy simply doesn't exist yet. And all the Green New Deal anti-conventional energy policies in the world can't change that basic fact.
Good afternoon, friends. Will benefits be increased? New data is being released on the next cost of living adjustment for all Social Security recipients. Many are now warning that lawmakers could make changes to shore up the future of Social Security, and those changes could be unfavorable for retirees. A 23% cut may take effect very soon. My dear friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video to hear about all of the details. Also, in 2 days, I will be announcing more winners for the $75 Walmart gift card giveaway. If you'd like to enter these weekly giveaway, friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you watch and then comment on, the greater your chances, my friends, of winning the giveaways. As inflation has reached highs over the past year, retirees are spending more, and as a result, their Social Security benefits are increasing. The cost of living adjustment is 8.7% in 2023. This increase is the biggest benefit hike since 1981, but that is expected to change next year. Those receiving Social Security benefits this year will likely have to temper their expectations going forward. That's because next year's COLA will likely be much smaller. The cost of living adjustment, that is 8.7% this year, will likely decrease in 2024. And this is according to the Senior Citizens League. Next year's cost of living adjustment may only be 3% or lower. For March, the unadjusted annual rate of inflation was at 5%, and that likely is indicating that the administration officials expect to see a significant drop in the inflation rate throughout the rest of this year. But if inflation does not fall and the increases stay at 3% or lower, Seniors and other benefit recipients may be caught short once again. In this situation with inflation, the main issue is that the cost of living adjustment is that it's based on what happened with the inflation rate for just part of the year before. But in the meantime, individuals depending on Social Security benefits live with the reality of inflation that is happening right now. When it comes time to do that inflation math, the Social Security benefit is adjusted in the third quarter of year, and that's before officials have even seen the result for the last 3 months of the year. On top of that, the adjustment is made based on different figures than the ones used in the official inflation rate, which is a change between the third quarters of the similar consumer price index for urban wage earners and clerical workers. Sometimes, though, the difference works out in favor of Social Security recipients. Among Social Security recipients, seniors can be hurt twice when cost of living allowances are too small. When the inflation rate is calculated one way and the Social Security adjustments uses another set of figures, seniors have their own separate inflation statistics. Many lawmakers have insisted on changing how the cost of living adjustment is calculated with using the CPIE instead, which is designed to look at changes in the purchases made by older Americans. The CPIE uses the same formulas and prices as the CPIW, but their importance is determined or weighted much differently. The CPIE uses expenditure weights for households with individuals ages 62 years old or older. So, dear friends, what are your thoughts on all of this that's going on in Congress? Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. While Republicans and Democrats barter over what to do about the debt ceiling crisis, U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen issued a grim warning this week that failing to raise the ceiling would trigger an economic catastrophe and potentially impact Social Security payments. Janet Yellen's remarks were part of a prepared speech that she delivered on April 25th in Washington, D.C., to a group of California business executives. A default on the nation's debt would result in a long list of problems for Americans, ranging from job losses to higher payments on mortgages, auto loans, and credit cards. Yellen also repeated earlier warnings that if the debt ceiling is not raised, the U.S. government will likely be unable to issue payments to military families and seniors who depend on Social Security to pay their bills. Those statements echoed earlier warnings that Janet Yellen issued back in February, when she said it's unlikely that the federal government would be able to issue payments to millions of Americans. Yellen joins many leading lawmakers and senior advocates in warning about the threat of a default and what it would pose to Social Security. Although the program is supposed to be protected in the event of a default by the Social Security Escape Clause, many experts say that clause will not necessarily protect benefits for everyone. Well, my magnificent and most marvelous friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for today. Thank you, dear friends, for being part of this community and for joining me here. To say thank you and to show my appreciation, I will be announcing several winners this coming Friday for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter the giveaway, friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, my friends, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. Thank you and have a wonderful and very blessed week.